Hello and welcome to my Yu-Gi-Oh channel. Make sure to subscribe for more daily Yu-Gi-Oh content. So today we're looking at the last cards, which are reprints within the set, and these have been introduced within Pack 32, which is the main box Photons of Galaxy. The first card is Swallowtail Butterspy. This is a Dark Attribute Warrior type level 4 with 1800 attack and 1200 defense. When another monster you control inflicts battle damage to your opponent, target one face-up monster your opponent controls, it loses attack equal to the battle damage inflicted. So you could essentially keep reducing your opponent's monsters' stat line down by a certain amount. It's okay if all your opponent's monsters are face-up, but that's very dependent on it. If your opponent's playing a defensive deck, this effect is really rarely going to trigger. The other problem I've got is there is actually a much better version of this type of effect in a card which is actually supporting of plant type monsters. It's called Thorn of Malice. Basically equips to your monster, the monster gains both. It gains piercing effect damage as well as being able to gain 600 points of damage, and every time it does the damage to the opponent's monster, that monster stays on the field, but it gradually gets weaker by 600 points. So you could potentially do something a lot better with that than you can with this card. Moonlit Papillon is a light attribute insect type level 4 with 1200 attack and 1600 defense. When this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can special summon one level 4 or lower Butterspy monster from the deck. Okay, so this is useful if you're going into an Xyz play, because that's a way, once you use the Xyz material and send this to graveyard, you can then use its effect. It only works within the Butterspy archetype because it has to be a Butterspy monster that's summoned from the deck, so it's very unique and specific in that approach, and it's not ideal because it being an insect, whereas some of the others are warriors, doesn't synergize very well within combining it in other decks. Daybreaker is a light attribute warrior type level 4 with 1700 attack and 0 defense. When this card is special summoned, you can special summon one Daybreaker from your hand. This is good if you were to pair it with something like Photon Lead, which lets you special summon a level 4 or lower light attribute monster. That's the condition of getting multiple of Daybreaker out. It was used by Kite to bring out, I think it was number 10 Illuminite within his first duel against Yuma. But essentially you can go into a rank 4 Xyz play. That's the design of this card. And the final card is Desert Scales. This is a quick play spell card with the effect target one face-up monster you control, except a monster that is attacking directly. It gains 1000 attack. Also it cannot attack your opponent directly for the rest of its turn. During the end phase of this turn, it loses 2000 attack. So the idea of this card is it gives you a short-term boost. It's useful if you just need to deal with your opponent's attack, but on the downside, this card still remains on the field. It does lose the 2000 attack, and I think that's a permanent stat change to its attack. So you're going to want to get rid of that monster either by attributing it, using it for fusion, Xyz, or synchro summoning using that card. It's effective as a short-term strategy, but just not in the long term.